Okay, guys, next up, we're looking at the Choi Bar. Okay, the Choi Bar is one of the most powerful counters. Okay, my partner has his hand on my hip, he has his hand on my knee, he starts to circle. We're doing all the good stuff we were doing earlier. Okay, guys, whenever I have my feet on my partner's body, now the Choi Bar is on the table. Okay, I cannot do it if my feet are up in the air. Can you rotate a little, spin it? Guys, if I try to Choi Bar from here, there's no counter pressure. For me to pull his arm in, I need to push. Okay, so the first thing you need for a Choi Bar is you need to have some foot on his body, and it doesn't matter where. Okay, it really doesn't matter almost anywhere. Okay, so I can have my foot on his shoulder like so, and then I could Choi Bar. I can have my foot on his hip, I could Choi Bar. I can have my right foot on his hip. One foot is good enough, okay? But you have to have some foot on his body, okay? That's number one. My partner's he's starting to pass. Look, I found a connection on his knee here, okay? If I have a pushing force, I can have a pulling force, okay? But there's no pulling force without a pushing force, because now you're just pulling the guy into a pass, okay? It's very important that I have my foot pushing and my arms pulling. Okay. See it again? Let's go a little bit at this angle. My partner starts to pass. I start to find a place for my feet. Once I find a place for my feet, my right foot's making contact, and I see a bend in the arm. Can you bend the arm a little bit? Guys, whenever somebody's putting their hand on my knee and there's a bend in the arm, you could take his arm in a Choi Bar. Can you straighten your arm a bit? Even if it's straight, you can do it. Okay, it's just a little bit harder. Okay, I want you guys to start with the easy version. Ask your partner to bend his arm. When he bends his arm, it just makes it a little bit easier for me to grab, okay? So I'm underhooking the back of his tricep as close to the elbow as I can, okay? I don't want to go up here. It's a little bit weaker for me, okay? I'm going to go close to the elbow as best as possible. I'm pulling with my right hand, and I'm pushing with the back of my right arm on the wristwatch area, okay? Imagine Neil is wearing a wristwatch right here. I want to put pressure on that wrist, okay? So I'm grabbing just above the elbow behind the tricep. I'm pulling. This hand is pulling towards my chest, and I'm pushing with the right side of my arm. I'm pushing his arm away. Guys, I want to pull this elbow into my chest. If I pull this elbow into my chest, Neil now is going to find a lot of problems. Okay, his arm is bent. I'm pushing with my tricep. I'm pulling with my hands. If Neil tries to posture, Neil. Posture as hard as you can. Okay, you can see I'm pushing with my foot and I'm pulling with my arms. Now all I got to do is I got to swim my foot into the armpit. Okay, we call it the deodorant zone. I want to take the back of my Achilles here, or even the back of my calf, and dig it in to the back of his armpit, okay? That deodorant zone where you would put your deodorant on. Now that I have that pressure, I start to put pressure down on his shoulder. See, I'm putting pressure down on his shoulder, and I'm grabbing the wrist. Once I grab the wrist, you can see Neil's flaring his thumb so you guys can see. I want his thumb pointing towards his hips. This is crucial, very important, okay? If his thumb is pointing this direction or in this direction, no good. No good. You won't have any pressure. Okay, the pressure is going to be minimized. I want to force his arm into a rotation and point his thumb towards his hips. Guys, from here I can start to extend. Okay, I start to extend. I extend my hips. You can see I'm pinching my knees. Here I can break his arm. Okay, from here I'm breaking his arm. I'm tapping him out. Sometimes you might feel like you need to sweep the guy because to get to a tight armbar, you need to sweep him. I'm going to flare my knee open. See, I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to break his arm. I'm putting pressure like I'm breaking his arm, but I also flare my knee. When he rolls, I keep pointing the thumb towards his hips. See how that thumb is always pointing towards the hips? My two knees are tight, and I'm trapping my partner's arm into an armbar. Okay, guys, when you finish the armbar, let's rotate. I'm going to break down all these details again. Don't worry. I know I'm just giving you a quick overview. Whenever you do this armbar, you can have both your feet behind his head like so. Okay, so you're basically closing a triangle, then crossing your feet. And I have them behind his head. That's great. I can have one leg over the top, or I could switch my legs around, okay? Sometimes when I'm like this and I'm breaking a guy's arm, he takes my foot off his head, okay? He's trying to escape. When he does that, try to lift my legs, he's trying to relieve pressure, I'll quickly just switch my legs around, okay? Now he tries to take my right leg off, I'll just quickly switch my legs around again, okay? And eventually I could also try to hide my feet behind his neck like so, okay? He could even try to take my legs out from here. Now, take them out. Look, as he's fighting my legs, look, I just put one back underneath, and I just keep kind of pummeling my legs until I find a configuration that he can't stop, and it gives me time to break his arm. Okay? So there's really no wrong way to configure your legs there at the end. The real important thing, guys, is getting that counter pressure. As Neil's passing the guard, I got to get one of my feet on his body. See, I have my foot on his thigh here. That's good enough for me to start going into that Choi Bar. Okay, and of course, I'm going to adjust my foot as we're fighting. I'm pushing with the foot. I'm pulling with the arms. I'm bending my arm in my partner's arm in a type of kimura. I'm pulling that elbow into my chest. And now you can see Neil, if he tried his best to posture here, he wouldn't be able to. Can you posture? Posture as best you can. He can't. There's nowhere for him to go. He can't come forward because I have my foot blocking his hip, and he can't go backwards because I have his arm bent. Now I'm going to swim my leg right into that deodorant zone. Okay? I'm going to throw my foot shallow. Okay? Sometimes you'll see black belts go deep. I'm not against going deep. I think it's okay going deep like so. It's not the best, okay? In my opinion, the best is staying really shallow and stay in that deodorant zone and put pressure in that deodorant zone, okay? I have a better control of his shoulder. I grab the wrist, I point that thumb towards his hips, okay? And now I put my legs wherever they're comfortable. I pinch my two knees together, I start to break his arm right here. If I want to sweep, if I want to encourage him to sweep, I'm just opening that knee just a little bit. My partner's gonna roll. Now it's easier to finish the armbar here. I could put more pressure. I'm pointing his thumb. I'm pointing his thumb towards his hips, and I'm breaking his arm across my right hip here, okay? I always want to put it on one hip. I'm never putting it in the middle, okay? I'm putting it across my right hip, and now I have a lot of mobility to finish this armbar. Okay, let's see it again. My partner has one hand on the hip, one hand on the knee. He's circling. He's fighting hard. I'm creating distance. I'm trying to pummel my legs in. As soon as one of my legs makes contact, even if it's the outside leg, look, I can now grab that Choi Bar, okay? Can you put pressure? Look, my right foot is not there yet. I can still grab it, okay, because I'm pushing with my left. As soon as I take this hand off my knee, I can pummel the other leg in. Now I have 2 feet pushing and 2 arms pulling. This is really good for me, really bad for my opponent. I'm pulling his elbow into my chest and I pummel my foot in that deodorant zone. I start to trap his wrist and point it towards the hips. And now I start to crank, crank, crank. My partner's gonna wanna roll. I close my triangle and cross my feet, okay? I close my triangle, hook the back of his neck and cross my 2 feet. Now I start to drive, 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 and break my partner's arm. Let's do it once, Neil, with your back to the camera. Hand on the hip, hand on the knee. He's passing, he's passing. Look at that arm. It's there for the taking. I have my right foot on his thigh. Now I can push with my right foot and pull with my right arm. Okay? Like this. It's going to be quick. Okay? Let's rotate. Okay? I'm going to show you guys a better angle. My partner is here. He's making a quick move. He's making a quick move. As soon as my foot touches his body, I start to underhook. See? A good way to drill this is just grabbing the arm. Okay? Go ahead, start passing. I have my feet on him. I can start to snatch that elbow. Get used to snatching that elbow. Once you get that kind of tension, the rest comes really easy. Okay? The rest is kind of easy. It's really about snatching that elbow that's pressuring your knee. Okay? I'm here like so. He has one hand on my hip, one hand on my knee. There you go. Look how I'm putting pressure on the wrist, forearm area. Can you come forward here? Come forward like you're pressure passing, pressure passing. Look how I put pressure with my arm here. I'm pushing in this direction. Okay? Now I have a nice grip. Guys, this is a beautiful maneuver. Okay? If my partner's trying to pressure pass me, and look, I'm attacking this arm, and he's defending it, he's peeling it back, and I'm attacking the other arm. As he defends his arms, he starts pulling his arms away. It's going to allow me now to start attacking his legs. Okay, it's creating a dilemma for him. As I'm attacking his arms and he's defending them, it's going to allow me to spin into the legs. Of course, it's helping me retain guard because he's defending. See, I'm here. I'm attacking his arm. He's defending. I go to the other arm. Pass again. I attack this arm, defend this arm. I attack the other. He takes his arm out. We're combining our attacks, of course. Guys, the Choi Bar is one of my favorite attacks. Somebody's trying to pass you aggressively. It's a beautiful maneuver. It's a beautiful counter. It's a very advanced attack. Let's give it a try.